Good day, everyone. Today I will be discussing all about tourism and our subject purposive communication. I am expecting your cooperation, and please, if you want to learn, focus and listen. To properly start my discussion, allow me to present to you my presentation. Traveling. When you hear the word traveling, what comes first in your mind? Any insights from the class? Okay. From the definition itself, traveling is one of the most exciting experiences that enrich human lives. We can be a traveler. Everyone can be a traveler. In traveling, you are allowing yourself to collect memories, to be independent, happy, and willing for excitement that will enrich your life. It leads us for self-progress. It is because through traveling, you can encounter everything from the time you step out from your comfort zone is the time that you let yourself discover new learnings and accept differences. It is the most exciting moment of our life, from how you imagine the place and how it happens and how you visited it without imagination. So here are the quotations that express what travel is. First is, the use of traveling is to regulate imagination with reality, and instead of thinking of how things may be, see them as they are. It is according to Samuel Johnson. So based on my experience, I am fan of imagination. Like I am imagining something that is not necessary to be happen. For example, I have that kind of day that I was imagining of traveling to Lamori Eye View because I wanted to experience what it feels like to be there in that tourist spot in Pantukan. It is located at Barangay Bungabong, and as a result, instead of imagining that I am going to travel that kind of destination, I really go there and I experience a lot of memories and a lot of things that is being experienced in that tourist spot. So instead of imagining it, make it, do it as if you want it. So another quotation is from St. Augustine, that the world is a book and those who do not travel read only one page. So why is it that St. Augustine tells the world that the world is a book and those who do not travel reads only one page? Anyone from the class? Okay, so according to what I have said earlier, now you have to leave your comfort zone, because as I experienced way back when I was 17 years old, we went to Tagum with my grandparents because we are selling our Copras product, and then I asked her permission na I will go to Chari's house, my friend's house, beside Tagum Grand Mall lang naman. So she tell me that yes, you can. And then I was happy, but then I was embarrassed. It is because I am not practiced traveling alone, so I am not very familiar in Tagum. And then I am doubting those tricycle drivers because there are some cases kasi na if you are not familiar in that kind of place, there is a rape cases kasi na nangyari doon sa Tagum. So I was doubting myself and I felt like I am embarrassed talaga. But then now I practice myself to travel alone. It is because when you are independent of something, you are capable of something too. So you need to leave your comfort zone. You need to read the old pages of your book to experience a lot, to learn from it, So do not limit yourself. The last quotation is coming from Sonic, that travel and change of place impart new vigor to the mind. So when you are traveling, you are imparting something. You are imparting discoveries, you are imparting experiences, and when you are traveling and changing different places, you have the power of, you have the strength to travel. So it makes you a productive traveler, and in traveling it helps you to impart new vigor, most especially in physical, emotional, and spiritual aspect. In physical aspect, for example, if you are hiking the Mount Apo, then your physical aspect is being trained or being used. And when we say emotional aspect, your patience is being tested, and you are thinking that how far it can be, how far it goes to go to Mount Apo. And the most special or the most important thing is the spiritual aspect. It is because when you are traveling, you have to pray for your safety. It is because you or we don't know what will happen along the journey. So any clarifications, insights, another insights? Anyone from the class? Okay, so let's proceed. So tourist is a person who is traveling or visiting a place for pleasure. If there is a tourist spot, then there is a tourist. A tourist is the person who is traveling or visiting a place for pleasure. So as I said earlier, we can be a traveler and we can be a tourist. It is within us only. So those people who are visiting the tourist spot, or those people who are traveling to see the tourist spot, is the tourist. Tourism is the activities of people traveling to and staying in places outside their usual environment for leisure, businesses, or other purposes for not more than one consecutive year. So in tourism, it has become very relevant to almost business industries. It has generated the consumption of goods and services. Thus, it has generated significant economic gains to various businesses. The success of tourism business is determined not only on the nature of business, but also on the people involved. In tourism, tour guides play the role of creating good impressions, generate word of mouth reputation, which makes an excellent free advertisement for any tourism businesses. So tourism helps us to showcase our tourist spot in different regions. Tourism also helps to increase the economic growth of our country, and it also helps to provide a job for everyone. So tourism is very essential in our country. We have three basic forms of tourism. First is the domestic tourism. It is a tourism involving residents of one country traveling only within that country. For example, Filipino citizens like us, so we are a resident in the Philippines, and a domestic tourism. It is like we are just traveling only within our country. So we are traveling only within our country. So we are a domestic tourism. The second one is the inbound tourism. It refers to the activities of a visitor from outside of country of residence. So for example, the Koreans from Korea are visiting the Filipinos in the Philippines. So it is the example of inbound tourism. And inbound tourism is also an incoming tourist. So those tourists or those visitors who are visiting our residency. The third one is the outbound tourism. It refers to the activities of a resident visitor outside of their country of residence. So outbound tourism is outgoing tourist. The example is the Filipinos is going to visit the Korea. So it is an outbound tourism. So ang outbound tourism and inbound tourism is baliktad lang siya. Whereas in inbound tourism, the Koreans are the one who will be visiting our country, while in outbound tourism, we are the one who is visiting their country. So that ends my discussion about tourism. So any clarifications, questions? Anyone from the class? Okay, none. So thank you for listening, and let's proceed to another slides from the another reporters. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This morning we'll tackle all about the communicative goals in tour guiding. So here are the communicative goals in tour guiding. First is inform, remind, and advise. This goal includes giving directions and commentaries, explaining itineraries, reminding tourists of safety tips and security, describing weather conditions, situations, and challenges in the place. So, as a tour guide, you should have to answer many questions, handle queries, and present information to tourists. Among this type of information will be giving directions and commentaries, explaining itineraries, providing advice on safety security, and describing tourist attraction. So, this giving directions and commentaries. So, as a tour guide, from the word giving directions, you should describe a site and provide information about various aspects of a country or a place to tourists a while on a tour. Next is explaining itineraries. In this type of information, you must detail a plan for a journey, including a list of places to be visited and often other information such as time, dates, place of residence, and transportation to be used during the journey. Second is to promote and persuade. One of the tour guide's main responsibilities is to show interest in people to visit places, especially that of his or her own. The power to persuade people to visit a certain place depends on several factors, which include the promoter's choice of information to give, the connection he has with clients, and his attitude toward the place. So, as a tour guide also, your primary role is to promote tourist attraction in order to pique the tourist interest and persuade the tourists to participate in or experience some of the activities offered by the attraction. So, example of this is you are promoting products from the site. For example, souvenir. You are promoting some of souvenir from the site. Then, that's the one of example of promote and persuade. And then there are also you are promoting the activities. For example of that is tanap bitaw mingon ka sa imong mga guests na kani siya nga rides kay nindot siya kanang so nindot ni siya nga rides, enjoy ni siya nga rides. So you are promoting So that's we call promote and persuade. Third is clarify. Misinformation often leads to misunderstanding and confusions. Problems may arise during travel due to circumstance beyond the tour guide's control. These problems may force the tour guide to alter original plans. Such changes should be communicated clearly to the tourists to avoid confusions. So, to minimize misunderstandings, tour guide must briefly give information to tourists in order for them to grasp the rules of the areas they are seeing. Okay. As a tour guide, so, kailangan, dapat jud is the way ka makipag-communicate or the way ka maghatag og information sa mga tourists, sa mga guests, is dapat is clarify jud. Ma-clarify jud nimo, ihanay nimo ang mga information nga imong ihatag sa ila to avoid confusions para dili sila malibog kung asa sila moadto, unsa ilang dapat buhaton sa site, unsa ilang dili dapat buhaton ug dapat buhaton. That's clarified. Fourth is build rapport and relationship. Good conversations with tourists lead to good rapport. Good rapport reinforce more business transactions and business network. Okay. To build rapport, start by being genuine, warm, and friendly. And make a little small talk when you get a chance. If you're asked something but you don't know the answer, don't make it up on the spot. Be honest. And tell them you can find out for them. Show your potential client you are genuinely interested in giving them the best possible travel experience. Okay. As a tour guide is dili lang kay ang pag-tour and pag-give of information ang imuhang task, is also make a relationship also to the guests. Okay. If you are having a time to communicate, so pwede ka makipaghalubilo sa imong mga guests. So mag-build ka og being friendly. So as a tour guide, you should also being friendly. So show your genuine smile, the way you talk, then but for you to build a good relationship with your guests and to the tourists also. So remember that if you have a good communication, you have also a good feedback from your guests. For example, is that have you experienced that you are traveling? Example if that is nag-adto mo, naglaag mo, and then ang tour guide is kanang the way sila maghatag og information, the way sila makipaghalubilo sa imo is good kanang mag-show jud sila respect sa imo. So kita as a turista, ganahan pud ta nila. Ganahan pud ta magbalik-balik sa ilahang lugar, sa ilahang site. Kay aside sa nindot ang ilahang site, ay lahat pong mga tour guide is mga buutan. So, di ba, maka-experience po ana is, mo na siya is, build rapport and relationship. Number 5, the last but not the least, gather feedback for improvement. Open communication with tourists is an avenue of evaluating the service provided. Constructive feedback is used as basis for changes to improve tour guiding services, while positive feedback inspires tour guides to sustain the quality of their work. Okay. Communication will enable you to collect relevant feedback from the tourists with a view to gauging the interests and expectations of the tourists. Okay. For example, that is me. I am a tour guide. Ako, isa ko ka tour guide. And then, I receive a good feedback from the tourists. For example, is that, ninghanga sila sa ako, sila nga. Kano siya tour guide no, kay, ano jud siya ay, kanang, perfect. Di po siya as imperfect. Nalang siya good communication. The way siya mo deliver, the way siya mo hatag information is arranged jud. Hanay siya. So, those are example of positive feedback. So, me, as a tour guide, na naka-receive ko good feedback, ma-inspire pud ko. Ma-inspire pud ko sa akong trabaho. So, mas maganahan ko o buhat og mga good as a tour guide. So, while negative feedback can lead you to improve your skills. For example, naka-receive ko og negative feedback. Kandaan ko nga, kuno siya nga tour guide kay, stricta siya the way siya makipaghalubilo, the way siya makipag-communicate. So, lain siya kanang, the way siya muhatag information is dilihan ay, munang malibog tayo. Anak good, those are mga negative feedback. So, expected jud na siya, no? Any situation, na-adjud na yung mga feedback, na-adjud yung mga positive and negative feedback. So, me, as a tour guide nga naka-receive ko negative feedback is maka-realize ko, makakuha ko og maka-learn ko ay anak day siya no, dapat jud ay no, as a tour guide is dapat na jud kay good intention, na kay good nga manner, the way kami kipaghalubilo sa imuhang mga guest, kay the way good nga magbuhat kag nindot is mas makakuan pud ka og kanang good feedback. So those are the communicative goals in tour guiding. Take note of that, guys. Okay. Thank you and God bless.
Good day, everyone. So for today's topic, I'm going to talk about communication tasks for tour guides. So first, I'm going to read what does a good tour guide need to do. So first, a good tour guide should be articulated enough, able to explain facts, and could answer some questions and queries about certain places, and also approachable enough for everything, even when they are under pressure. Of course, you need to be approachable enough, and you need to know everything because you're a tour guide. And also, you should not feel pressure or nervous in that way, because the client or the tourist might get scared or something. So first, I will read the number one in the communication task for tour guides. The number one is receiving telephone calls. So the way one handles a telephone may be the first impression that a company makes on a prospective client. The tips below will help you create a good impression. Okay, so first is always have a notepad and pen near you or the telephone. Why? Well, it is important because if the caller addresses something or has a lot to say or wanted something that is necessary. So you should take down notes of it so you can never forget it, or you could never lose something. You could not lack in that a paragraph or something that he or she says. So second is ask what you can do for the caller. Of course, you need to ask, or you need to know what does she or he wants and what is the reason why she or he calls. Third is greet the caller and identify yourself and your enterprise. Well, in that way, you will be pleasant enough. You will be respectful, and might be the rating of your enterprise will increase because the caller might rate a higher percent because of your respectfulness and the way how you greet the caller. He or she might post something good about your enterprise too. And fourth is ask what you can do for the caller. It is also important because that so that the caller you will know what she or he wanted. Why does he call, or what is she or he needs you something like what needs you something needs something. Okay, so lastly, listen attentively. I included this because it is really important, especially when you are answering a call, because there might be instances where you forget it. So you should always listen attentively, and you should always write down notes of it so that you could never forget what he or she says about, or what could be the topic that he or she wanted you to do, or something like that, so that you could never forget it. So you should listen attentively. It is really important. Second is preparing an itinerary. So you need to prepare an itinerary. Itineraries are prepared primarily to estimate the time to be spent in each site and to systemize the whole tour experience. First is plan the places where you wanted to go so that you can know, or you can budget what you can budget. Yes, you will know what is in that places, or what is the best spot of that places that you wanted to go. Second is prepare your budget and stuff. It is so important so that you will be prepared on what will come and the likes. It is important because what if there'll be some circumstances, natural circumstances that will come into your way, and of course you need to be prepared. So third is should always check your things, because sometimes you will enjoy doing something and you forget where you put your stuffs. It could be lost or something, so you need to check it every time, and you need to know where you put it. It should be in the safe place. Fourth is think of the people around you, because what if there will be an accident or something, and you should be aware of the people around you so that you could be a nice person to the people around you. So fifth is check your vehicle's condition so that there will be no anomalies, and there will be no interruptions on your way to go to some places that you wanted to go, and to the destinations that you wanted to go to. So you need to check your vehicle's condition. You need to check the tires, the machinery and stuff. Okay. The number 3 on the communication for tour guides is excuse me. The tour commentary provides descriptions of history, trivia, anecdotes, and any relevant and interesting information about the place being visited. Number 3, the communication of the tour guides is keep your commentaries light. Because what is the reason of your go-to if you're going to bring everything, right? It is not necessary to bring everything. You should bring light things. Second is adjust your pace according to the speed of vehicle. Third is you should know much about the spot and the way that you're going through, because what if something is dangerous about that place, so you should read something that could help you know what is in that place, what is the best spot of it, what is the dangerous spot, and what is the kind of accident that is going on in that places. So fourth is add personal and positive comments about the places. Yes, it is important. You should always add your insights about the place so that the tourist can invite more tourists, can invite more persons in that place too, because the tourist is very important. Because if there is no tourist, there is no income of the certain place. You could not endorse it if there are no tourists that goes there. So last but not the least is do not write or read what you will going to say, because there's a tendency that you can forget it, and it's kind of important for me, because if you will write or you will read something that you will say, yes, there is a lot of tendency that you were going to forget it, and that is not a good sign of being a good tourist. So yes, that's all of my report, and I hope you've listened. And also I did summarize that because to make it shorter, I did summarize it. And
Good day to all of us. I will tackle about communication techniques in dealing with complaints. So what is complaints? Complaint is a statement that a situation is unsatisfactory or unacceptable. A complaint is a statement in which you express your dissatisfaction with a particular situation. There could be different types of customer complaints. It could be related to improper communication, internal processes, or poor quality of service. Realizing that a complaint is an opportunity make it easier to turn conflict into positive change. Customer complaints can tell you how to resolve issues if you listen to them carefully. You should be thankful to your customers for sharing their opinions and complaints. It helps to understand the challenges that customers are facing with your products and services. They are very valuable because they unveil so many unexpected opportunities for growth. Although unpleasant, complaints signal to the service provider that he or she has a chance to clarify, explain, apologize, and or make up to the tourist what might have gone wrong in the service. In facing a complaint from the tourist, we need to have more patience and explain to them or clarify the problem. It is very important because it affects the reviews of the service. The suggestion below may be of importance when the need arises. First, acknowledge the tourist's right to complain. Kini siya, kinahanglan nga i-acknowledge nato ang mga complaint sa tourist kay sumala pa sa atong giingon nga ang mga complaint sa turista dako kay katabang sa tuwa. So unsa may una to if kung i-acknowledge na to ang tourist right to complain. Kinahanglan nga remember that it's not personal. So kay dili nga personal ni ang complaint sa tourist, dapat kinahanglan nato nga accept dawato nato ilang mga complaint balag kanang ang mga istorya nila kanang makapasakit sa tuwa. Naon lang nato nga kini dili personal sa ato ang trabaho. Ikaduha, listen to what the customer says. Kini siya importante kayo if ang gisulti sa customer kanang importante kayo labi pa sa mga services nga ilang nakita sa tuwa. If ang service na to poor kayo, so kinahanglan nato nga kanang mag-upgrade sa to ang mga services para sa ingon kanang dagantag malibilap ta nga dagan po tag mahimo dahil pa sa atong pagpanerbisyo sa mga customer. Nga katulo, kinahanglan po nga i-acknowledge what the customer says and feels. Kinahanglan po nga kanang kung unsay gisulti sa customer, kinahanglan nga ato sab nga kanang bation nga ilahon po nato kung kanang unsa ka importante ang kining ginaingon sa mga customer kay mumuning makatabang sa tuwa nga mas mo improve ang atuang pagpanerbisyo sa ilaha dahil pa sa mga complaints nga ilang gidala giingon sa tuwa. Ikapat, understand what the customer wants. So kinahanglan natong sabto no ang kanang mga gusto sa customer kay kung nagani kay gusto sa imong kaugalingon dapat kanang nanglan nga makuha gid nimo. So kay kinahanglan mo man ang pinaka usa sa mga importanteng mo nato if model tag mga complaints dahil pa sa turista. Kinahanglan i-understand nato ang mga gusto sa customer labi pa diha sa services nato. Kalima, offer a solution. Kani siya importante kayo kay kung natay na may mga problema diha sa services, kinahanglan nga natay nabutang nga solusyon. Nya ikaw apologize to the customer. Kani importante sab kay if makamali ta sa kaning sa atong pag-service sila dahil pa kung kulang ang mga services nga gi-provide, kining apologize to the customer, importante kayo para makita nila nga nanikamot dito sa pagpanerbisyo. So next is express your empathy. So listen attentively and understand where they are coming from. Ingon dire express your empathy. Kini dire importante kay ni if model tag complaints gikan sa mga tourist. Kinahanglan nga kita sa atong kaugalingon, kinahanglan nga i-understand nato ang ato ang turista panalitan if kinahanglan ang tourist nato kanang gikan sa ka hospital, kinahanglan og mga services nga kinahanglan nilang gamiton if ang tourist kanang naay problema sa panlawas. Kinahanglan nga ang atong empatiya dapat ipakita gid sa ila. Listen attentively, ingon pa dinhi nga dapat maminaw gitas kung sa ilang mga ah, mga complaints kay muna importante kayo para sa ato ang mga services nga. Ikatulo, act on their complaints as soon as possible. At some stages, your business is likely to receive a customer complaint. Dealing with it in a positive and constructive manner will help to keep your customers. Managing customer complaints and resolving them quickly will result in improved business process and repeat business. Kini siya importante sad sa pag-deal og complaints. Nganuman, kini siya kay kung atong trabahon ang mga complaints sa mga tourist sa dali nga panahon, posible nga dali ra po nato masolusyonan ang problem nga ilang giatubang. For example, if ang tourist nanginahanglan og usa ka butang, kinahanglan nato dayon na nga aksyonan para sa ingon ang para sa ingon ang problema masolusyonan dayon. So muna siya, no. So sunod, offer an alternative plan solution for problems. Tour guides should foresee possible tour problems so that an alternative plan is always ready. Common tour problems include delays, vehicular malfunction, unfavorable weather condition, health issues, and more. Offer an alternative plan. So, kung wala na kay laing solusyon, kinahanglan mangita kag alternative plan, nga plano. Kung doon na may mga problema nga pwedeng mahitabo, dawi pa diya sa services nga itong gihimo. For example, kung ang tourist kanang na problema sa kuan sa mga pagkaon kay na-delay na to. So kita mismo kinahanglan nga nanatay alternative plan para ana. So when a problem occur, the tourist representative must inform the tour guide right away so that the tour guide will arrange the matter to the satisfaction of customers right then. So for example, if there is a delays in food and water services, the service provider should have an alternative solution for this to make the customer happy and satisfied. Without an alternative plan, there is a possibility that the problems cannot be fixed. So, moto siya, no? Next, kay follow through on the solutions. Effective communication is integral component of successful tour guiding. Good communication bridges almost all the gaps arising from differences. It mitigates and solves problems. It builds genuine relationship among people of diverse cultures, and it lays the foundation of understanding among people of both business and personal relations. So, follow through on the solution. Kini siya importante pa kayo kay kung may follow ta sa mga solutions, simple nga dali ra natong masolusyonan ang mga problema o mga complaints sa mga tourist. For example, kung na may problema sa kanang mga delay sa mga pagkaon, tubig, o sa mga vehicular malfunction. So kung na natay solution daan, katong gingon ako ganina nga alternative solutions, so dali ra, no, nga masolusyonan ang mga problema. So mga na to siya, no, so follow through on the solutions. Mga follow lang na to mga mga naanda na plano nato nga solutions. So dali ra nga masolusyonan ang mga problema nga gitubang sa mga complaints sa mga tourists. So more to siya, hope nga kanang nasabtan ninyo kay di kayo maayo sa pag-explain. So na to sa bahin sa communication techniques in dealing with complaints. So ngayon to siya, daghang salamat.